Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of the Zero Hour Podcast, brought to you by Ground Zero Car Audio. What are we going to talk about today? Well, in typical us fashion, we were out on the road at a show, and we're going to talk about this show. So, Texas Heatwave was a really cool environment for us as an audio company to be, our team representing the brand at a car show. Why is that important? We'll cover that. And we will cover another aspect of the same show, which was a full-on sound quality competition tied into a car show. Again, something important. So I'm going to be joined by Nick. We're going to cover that, kind of go through some rundown of the show, why it was important, some of the vehicles, some of the accolades that we got to walk away with, and really just, again, shoot the shit and have some fun. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And here I am with my friend Nick Wingate, and we're going to talk about this Texas Heatwave event. And one of the things that I want to mention is the importance of the fact of what it was just in general. It wasn't a car audio show. It wasn't a truck show. It wasn't a car show. It wasn't a bike show. It was everything, right?
Yeah, it was all of it.
And we had a conversation about this when we got back from Austria of this thought process of tying the worlds together. If you're into cars, why can't you be into audio? If you're into audio, shouldn't you be into cars? Bringing some bikes into it, I mean, I think Andy brought a couple and wowed some people in typical Andy fashion.
He most certainly did.
Well, and I want to rehash this because now we've done it, theoretically on American soil, so to speak. But
yeah,
why is it important to have a show like this?
Well, I think it goes. Let's face it. This goes hand in hand with the lifestyle because that's what this is. Whether it's cars, bikes, audio, we're all still talking about transportation and enjoying the music while we're going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we lose sight as an industry that these are the people that we have to reach.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple fact that, you go look at the vehicles that were at Heatwave, they're $100,000 plus. I mean, a lot of them. And they're very proud of them, which they should be. I mean, paint jobs are amazing. The engine work is extraordinary. I saw a GMC Denali 4-door truck that I know had $250,000 worth of lift kit on it. I sat there. I literally walked underneath that truck.
That's insane.
And it's not my cup of tea. It's not your cup of tea, but it is his. And he had an audio system in it. And I kind of looked at him and I said, "Hey, man, you might want to come inside and come take a look at what we're doing," because he had no idea about the sound off. And he did. And he was blown away. He had absolutely no idea anybody can make a truck sound, like we can.
Yeah.
As an industry, and it was just blown away. So, this is the continuation of, us going out and trying to get the community to understand that you're going to have to go to these people because they do not know we exist.
And I was going to ask that because a lot of the conversations we've had lately are who is the target market, right? The person that walks into a car audio shop is becoming few and far between.
Yes.
So like you said, we're having to go places. We've spent time, you've been to Expona, you've been to some of the high-end shows. We've been, international. We're now doing stuff here that's people that maybe don't know we exist or that the audio industry is still thriving from brands that aren't, the internet advertisers, right? So just again, another avenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
That manufacturers in the industry need to get out and go, we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
We're still fun. And, come see what we can do.
Couldn't agree with you more.
So it's cool that we got this experience, right? Because not only was our team there representing, we had some cars there that absolutely just were wicked incredible. But, we also had dealers there from
Yes.
both sides, coming together. So we've got, a dealer who builds hot rods and builds audio packages and happens to do them in the same car. He's out there, hyping the heck out of what we're doing. We're there supporting the industry. What more could we do? What more is there to do, in something like that? What were we missing? Or were we not? And this show was like the greatest that we've had so far.
No, I don't think it was the greatest we've had so far, but it was close. I think Axpana was probably the one that turned the most heads because simple fact that those are the people who are willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
But in the same breath, you have to branch out. You have to go find those group of people that, quite frankly, don't even understand what it's all about, how good we can get the cars to sound.
Okay.
And that was the key. They understand loud. They understand loud and proud. But understanding what can be achieved, like this gentleman in this truck, he had no idea that we could get cars to image and stage and have depth, and he was blown away. And he wasn't the only one. I mean, we had a number of people that we demonstrated vehicles to, and everybody got out just shaking their head, going, "I had no idea."
I still do that on a regular basis, so we can't say that it's
No.
exclusive to non-audio people, right? But
Mhm.
but I guess that's why it's important that we continue to support shows like this, right? Is
Mhm.
car builders, high-end home people, the average enthusiast, this market is shrinking.
Yes,
I
and
know
we
you.
all know that. I mean, let's face it. We know that the motorcycle cruising bike industry is shrinking. I mean, it's just a fact. Harley Davidson is down, and they're not coming back. That demographic is my age and older, and we're dying. And so they know they've got a problem on their hands. There's only three sections of the boating industry that's growing right now, and one of them is $500,000 boats and up.
Mm-hmm.
And who is that? Well, yeah, that's that's my age and higher that they're transitioning to do other things, or they are boating enthusiasts or fishing enthusiasts. Uh, so we have to take a look at where is the next group of people that we can reach. And I think this is them. It's high-end home audio. It's the folks that do the car shows and the truck shows. They know of music, they know of audio, but they don't understand how good it can literally be. And if we aren't there, and I mean we, the industry, if we're not there to demonstrate it to them, how can they become enlightened as to what we can do? Because they damn sure don't know we exist.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was not only a good show just to be at. It was a good show for us.
Oh, absolutely.
We can talk about the greatness of the industry and how we continue to support it, but at the same time too, let's be a little selfish here. How was Ground Zero at the show?
Well, we were the only audio manufacturer who was actually had a presence. There were dealers in the Austin area that were there. So in that respect, it was us. We had one, two, three. We had four cars that were entered. Not only there were three organizations, sound off organizations that were there, but they were all entered, with the exception of one, in the money round. There was a rather interesting event that took place in which 18 cars bought into what is basically a round robin tournament. Um, they set it up to where you literally would pick a card from a deck, and whoever drew an ace of spades would go up against the person who drew an ace of hearts, or two of clubs, two of hearts, and so on and so forth. So it was not done by classification. It wasn't done by power. It wasn't done whether I was an expert up against an amateur. It was a random draw. And there were two and sometimes three judges that listened to the cars using two or three songs. They got together and chose a winner. And when it was all said and done, we had the second place car and the third place car. going up against a car that has about 1,000 hours worth of tuning in it.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible from a brand perspective. You know, to
Oh,
know that
yes.
just out of all the competitors, they just happen to
Absolutely.
be our cars. And you know, not to sound conceited, but we all know that our products belong there. Like you
Oh,
and I both know
there's no
that, right?
question.
So it's one of those things that not only and hopefully what this entire show was hopefully other vendors pay attention, other manufacturers pay attention.
I think given the people who were there, and given the amount of foot traffic that we had come through the doors, I think they should, because when you're talking about having a captive crowd, this was it. Because there's only a few buildings in the facility. And, when you're, honest to gosh, trying to beat the heat,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to come in this building. And this is where we were. And we had a number of people go and look at all the, the products we had laid out on the tables. And they were shaking their heads going, what is this? What is this? How does this work? How much is this? I've never heard of this. Go listen to this car, get out and stare at us and go, there's no way. There is no way. And that's the reason we're there. We have to promote the brand, but we also have to promote what we can do.
Yeah, it's
And
not just products on a table, like you said. It's
no,
oh, this is in there. Go listen to that.
yeah, absolutely. And so people, were just blown away. They could not believe what they were hearing, like in Tommy Spears' truck.
Wow.
They could not get over that Tommy had $3,800 worth of gear in his truck. And it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's 10 grand.
Wow. And it's funny you mentioned Tommy's truck because when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about why that truck is important and why
Yeah.
we've seen it all over the country over the last it's a 24 like year and a half, 2 years, and some of the other cars that were there, and again why it was important that they were there. So hang on for a second and we'll talk about your world, which is competition. We'll be right back. Okay, Nick, competition is your thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. High-end SQ, all the fun thing. Car audio is your thing. But
Yeah.
competition is the thing that you run circles, especially around me, but you run circles around a lot of people when it comes to the SQ competition thought process. I want to focus on 3 cars that were there. I mean, I know we had 4 total.
Yes.
No, we had 5 things in competition. I mean, because I think one of Andy's bikes was in a class, right? And
It was.
I think people outside were like, "Wait, what?
No,
That?"
and they actually put Andy in the car class, and he ended up being 4th. And he was not the four. It was not the only. There were only 4 vehicles in the class. It was funny, but it's a testament to how good that bike sounds.
Well,
It's
and
amazing. It's
tell me the last time you heard something he brought to a show that didn't make you go, "Wait, what? That's a motorcycle."
No, every time Andy shows up with something, I just shake my head and go, "Really?" It's just really. It's
And
amazing.
and you knew people at the show that thought the same thing.
No, everybody that walked by, judges, non-judges, competitors, just general people walk by. When Andy would get on it, it would be like people would go, "What? Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. That is a bike."
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's fun, right? I mean,
It is. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
it is a hell of a lot of fun. So let's get to the 3 competition cars that were ground zero cars. Full stop.
Okay.
I want to start with Jim's because Jim's we've seen kind of out in the world.
Yeah.
But this was the first time that we've seen Jim's Ram with reference speakers.
Yes. He's had them in about 3 weeks.
So real quick recap on his, and it's reference 3-ways in the front.
Mm-hmm.
3 plutonium 10s, one center front,
Yes.
2
Yes.
vented in the under backseat location with a gnarly port configuration.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All uranium amps.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, not the highest tier of anything,
No.
but absolutely phenomenal product. He placed what were his standings at the end of the day?
He was first in his class in Iasca, and he was first in his class in MCA.
Okay. So, a car that had speakers in it for 3 weeks, that
Mm-hmm.
had, I mean, we're talking this entire build is 7 months, 8 months old.
Yeah, it's about 8 months old
I
right now.
think, right? I'm trying to remember when he built it for finals last year.
September,
Okay. So,
about 10 months.
okay, yep. Going into competition with unheard speakers, untested, really, production speakers,
Mm-hmm.
first and first. Okay.
Yep.
That to me is absolutely incredible because that, again, speaks testament to what it is that we're out here trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most expensive series of amplifiers. These aren't the best
No.
10.
No.
This is a product that was designed to achieve a goal, and Jim properly implemented and executed that goal.
Absolutely.
What were some of the impressions that people expressed to you getting out of that truck? Because I know it's not just that was really good. There was more to it.
Yeah, this is from well, let's just start with the judging staff, who, all of these folks have been doing this for over 10 years. And they know what they're listening for. And the general consensus basically was that is the widest, deepest, most three-dimensional soundstage anybody has ever heard in a car. Period.
Wow.
It was amazing. Now, I heard that from more than one judge. And several of them made the remarks to me that it's 3 weeks old and it sounds like this, because Jim was telling them, and they're like, what's this going to sound like when it's fully tuned? Because we're not done by any stretch of the imagination. We just didn't have time.
Right.
And I'm like, yep, I'm at that point right now to where now it's going to be the little things that we're going to work on. And but Jacob, when you look at what it took Jim to get that together, and I think he's got a grand total of maybe 2 or 3 EQ bands in each speaker are being utilized. That's crazy.
Right.
And I think it's a testament to the design and the engineering of the product, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is like, okay, he had plutoniums in there 8 weeks ago when we were at the Kicker Show in May. And here we are in July, and it's the same enclosure designs. Nothing's changed. You just drop these in and retune the car, and look what it's doing.
Right.
That says an awful lot about how good these speakers are. And
Now,
I think they are.
Now, shifting gears, because we can talk about, how good the speakers are, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about Amanda's Nissan. Because again, right, again, we're talking about a reference three-way.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks old.
It's 2 weeks old.
The build in its entirety is 2 weeks old.
Yep.
Plutonium amplifiers.
Yes.
And a radioactive 15 IB.
Yes.
We're talking about what, a $399 retail sub?
Yep.
Or something like that?
And nobody bought that. They had to look it up online to make sure I was telling them the damn truth.
Now, did anybody complain about sub bass in her car?
No.
Okay,
No,
okay.
We had people telling me to turn it down.
Right. And then and it's sub bass, right? Like, I mean, we're talking about something that we know is going to can be ruthless.
Oh yeah.
Or can be not enough. And
Especially with this bunch.
Here we are, one give or take $400 sub.
Right.
Just making people go, what?
Yeah, and they have to understand it's an infinite baffle. I mean, there's no enclosure. It's not a sealed box. It's not a vented box. They're using the trunk as the enclosure. And when I read the Theo Smalls on that driver, I told James Halter, this gentleman's wife owns the car. I told him, I said, build this as an infinite baffle sub and go with it. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yep, I am sure."
Yeah.
And he called me the day they fired the subwoofer up. He called me and he goes, "You were not kidding. Oh my gosh." Now that's not the words he used, but I'm not going to tell you what he used. But he was blown away. And everybody that got in that car was like, "It's an infinite baffle 15." Oh my gosh, really? Yep. We're going old school. Yes,
and
sir.
it's not even, you know, infinite baffle, right? It's
Yeah.
just trunk baffled into a leaky trunk.
That's all it is. And they
And
sealed as much of the trunk off as they could, but we found a leak.
well, hey, guess what? Okay, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it didn't matter. It still
no,
sounds phenomenal.
and that again is what's really fun about this, because we've gotten, okay, these two cars have the same set of front speakers, right?
Yeah.
But entirely different amplification thought process,
Hmm.
entirely different sub thought process.
Absolutely.
And they're both out there competing. Now, Amanda competed.
Yes.
Where did she place in
She
her?
was she was first place in Iasca and she was first place in MCA. Same as Jim.
Why am I sensing a theme?
I'm I'm just I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm just curious, because I
Yeah.
don't,
And
competition's
then
not my thing, but
but yeah, yeah, I mean you're looking at 3 week old builds, 2 week old builds, beating cars that have got years on some of them that they have worked on their systems, thousands of hours of tuning time. And these cars did what they did with basically the minimum amount of time necessary to get ready for a show.
and that's, I mean, again, I will never. We're not talking smack about those cars because they're all phenomenal.
No, no,
You,
there's former world champions that were there. We had two Aggieland competitors who won Aggieland over the last 5 years. They were there, same cars, and like I said, Jim was third and Amanda was second in the money round,
right?
and the car they lost to, well, it's not anything to be ashamed of.
No,
You know,
no, and that's,
no,
as soon as you told me who it was, I was like, okay,
yeah,
kind of saw that coming.
yeah, we
But
all did, but
right,
still,
but to go out and, number one is 1,000 hour tune or
yeah,
more.
or more.
Two and three are week old builds.
Yeah,
Just,
I mean,
it's incredible to see, because it speaks to, like you said, you mentioned it when we were talking about, I think, Jim's. It's the design and it's the engineering and it's the thought process put behind the drivers, right?
it is. It truly
Where
is. And when you think about Amanda's build, Amanda is using the 6.5 inch mid base drivers in the doors in factory locations. The 3.5 inch mid ranges are in the factory locations, and the tweeters are in the A pillar.
okay,
Now that's the only custom thing in the whole car, other than the amp rack. Really and truly, that infinite baffle, anybody can build that. Really and truly,
mm-hmm.
the amp rack, it looks great. They did a great job, but again, it's not as if this was something Chris Pate took 6 months building.
Right,
And it works.
yeah, and that's what's incredible, is it's great product.
It
Uh,
is fantastic.
so that brings me to the third car that I want to talk about, which is Tommy's truck. I think we've talked about it in episodes past.
We
If
have.
if we haven't, Tommy, I am sorry, because your truck has always been fun.
Oh.
And it was built to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an SQ competition car.
No.
It's hydrogen three-way front end,
Mm-hmm.
quasi-active,
Mm-hmm.
off a radioactive 4-channel amp
Mm-hmm.
with two hydrogen flat 10s ported
Yep. Yep.
on a ground zero competition amp.
Mm-hmm.
Ground Zero's entry level processor, the 4-8X2.
4 yep.
This, like, 3,800 ish bucks, right? I
Yeah.
think I figured. Where did Tommy place?
He was second to Amanda.
Same class as Amanda.
Same class as Amanda.
Second place.
Second place.
Stacked class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why does that truck do so good?
Number one, I think the acoustics of the car are really good.
Okay.
Two, Tommy and Andy built the A pillars. Okay, it's not factory locations, so they did optimize the drivers as far as aiming are concerned.
Yeah, Andy did a phenomenal job.
He did. I shook his hand. But I also think it's one of those things to where the sum of the parts happens to work extremely well together. It's one of those builds, and I've designed them and sold them and had people install them and tune them and go, there's no way it could be doing what it's doing, but it does. It does. It's musically very, very, very satisfying to listen to. Does it do what Amanda's does? No, it doesn't. But it wasn't made to do that.
No.
No, but I'm responsible for Tommy getting in. He wasn't going to do it. And I told him, I said, as good as this car sounds, you really should, because number one, it's going to enlighten judges to the product, which is what I wanted more than anything. But two, I also wanted as many people as I could get in this truck to understand, look, yeah, this is 13 grand sitting right next to it. This is 3,800. It's literally 60% of Amanda's car for a third of the price.
Right.
I mean, this is a amazing sounding system for this kind of money. And it's a testament again to the product, and how well the product works together. It's just one of those things where, you know, I almost get to the point where I'm like, and Jacob, you've heard me say this, hydrogen to me, dollar for dollar, I think it's the best thing they've built. I
you
I
you do love that set of speakers, man.
I do. I'm just sit there and go, really? I mean, they sound this damn good. And every time I listen to Tom, I mean, I tuned Tommy's truck to go to battle, as we say. And when we got through with it, I'm like, well, it's going to score well because it does everything really, really well. And I told Tommy, I said, if you want to come back next year, you need a better source and probably a better DSP. And you could probably go with what you got right now and probably increase your resolution by 25%.
Well, and
Doesn't have change speakers or subs. No.
I think what shocks me, and it's a conversation I've had with Andy in the past, right? That one of the things we look at in competition is people are scared to want to compete with the thing that they turnkeyed, right?
Yes.
Tommy never would have competed with that truck.
No.
It wasn't designed for it. It wasn't built for it. It's not purpose built. No one ever would have thought, hey, quasi active on not entry level, but moderately priced gear,
yeah,
is going to go place well. But none of us. I don't think anybody thought that. And I think what this shows is, again, when we let's look at the overall picture and how this truck relates to the overall picture of Heatwave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every car in the yard at Heatwave was entered in some sort of a competition, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it was best of show or best interior or best paint, body, whatever it was, there was a best of going on.
There was.
What that truck showed me is that all those guys could now put a simple system. And we've heard, I mean, Chris brought Tassima one year. He brought Hermano. And it was radioactive system, quasi-active, 5-channel amp, 110. That was it. That truck was so fun to listen to and so impressive. That what's to stop them from going and doing this with the correct tune, with an accurate tune?
No, nothing. And I think that's, again, we're going to come full circle, but that's what we have to be able to demonstrate to the rank and file that we don't reach. Look, you don't have to spend 15, 20 grand. You can spend 4
And you want to compete and you want to come have fun
and come out and hang out with us and have a good time. And because that's the other thing, everybody saw that we were having a good time. We hanging out at our booth was damn near every judge in the organizations that were there. When they got done judging and taking a break, they were all hanging out in our booth. And because number one, we had chairs, so they could sit down and get. But number two is that, look, we were down there having a good time. We
and
were
that
down there. We were engaging people. We were talking to consumers. You know, they wanted to talk to me and talk to Tommy and talk to all of our reps that were there. They wanted to know more about the product, but they also knew that we were having fun. We were having a good time because I told everybody before we got started in this, I said, if you're coming into this and you want to be dead damn serious about it, no, you leave that to me and Jim and Amanda and Tommy. The rest of y'all, this is about you enjoying the show and getting to understand these people and interact with these folks and have a good time.
I
Let the other side of this alone. Let me have it.
Well, and I think you nailed it. I mean, it's having fun. It's
It
BS.
was.
It's BSing with your friends and hanging out and having a good time. And at the end of the day, if you walk away with a trophy, because guess what? You put up
Great.
something great, even better. And I can relate that back in the day when I was living in California.
Mm-hmm.
We would do hangouts at American Honda Motors print shop, because one of our friends worked there and gave us power and let us use their parking lot. And yeah, competition cars, but it wasn't competition.
No.
It was hanging out with your friends and having fun and shooting the shit and smoking a cigar with Mark or talking to Richard and
Yep.
seeing people grow in the industry and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden now they're staples in SQ. These are the things that are fun. And I think that got lost.
Yeah, and this weekend we did not have one complaint by anybody.
Wow.
Not one person complained about anything because we were there to have a good time. Everybody that comes to this show knows, yes, it is going to be blistering freaking hot. There's a reason they call it heat wave. But we're there also because we all know each other. If we've got new competitors coming in, hey, let's go help them. Let's make sure they're understood that they're welcome to the table. We want them to understand, like, hey, how many cars did I have to go listen to because they needed my help and they're not within our group? I didn't care. I know these guys. They're old friends. Of course, I'm going to go listen to the cars and tell them what I think. But it's about the music and us all enjoying the music and enjoying each other's systems. And isn't that what this is all about? Yeah, absolutely.
I always thought it was.
Oh, it is. It still is. We just got to get everybody to remember it and bring them all back.
Yep.
Plain simple. Yeah.
Well, and on that note, talking about having fun, I'm going to let you go so we can have some fun.
Thank you, sir.
Nick, I want to thank you for you being here because that is something, this world is something you've been involved in for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And to see your passion still there or maybe even slightly rejuvenated about, this thought process means a lot because yes, we know the industry is having trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in trouble. I think we need to figure out ways to do what we're out there doing. Getting people excited, getting people to show, hey, we're having fun. This is still a thing. Everybody still loves music.
Yeah.
We all need to just remember that.
Yeah. And I think if we continue to do this and we get a few more manufacturers / distributors to understand that you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to rekindle the fires.
Yeah.
The fires are burning, but they're just not burning they're not burning very high. And it's going to be up to us because if we're waiting for somebody else,
right,
we got to do it.
Yep. let's put in the work.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, on that note, we'll be right back. Heatwave in a nutshell. And of course, we went off the rails a little bit because it's not just about a show. It's not just about Ground Zero. It's not just about the industry. It's for us, it's how do all these things go together? And we still have to have that love and find that love for this industry and get other people to understand why we love this industry. And that's why I love talking to Nick and our guys and everybody who goes to these shows and just gets to step back and go, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm still doing this. So there you have it. We Ground Zero equipped vehicles won some trophies, which is always fun to kind of brag about. And they did it out there having fun, which is, let's be honest, all that matters. We'll be back next month with a topic to which I don't know yet. So hang on out, pay attention, keep your eyes out. We'll have some fun. We'll see you next month. Don't forget to subscribe on the things at Ground Zero USA, and we will see you in August. Have a good one.